Our hearts and prayers are with those who are experiencing this unimaginable pain.
And that was North Las Vegas Councilwoman Pamela Goins-Brown. We also heard from the mayor, John Lee, sharing their condolences and speaking out on behalf of the community regarding the grief North Las Vegas feels after this horrific crash where 9 people lost their lives. We appreciate you so much for spending some time with us. More heart-wrenching details from that deadly crash that took those lives this weekend. A press conference wrapped up not long ago. Let's go live to our Kay Dimanche in North Las Vegas. So Kay, we learned that 7 people were killed in just one of those vehicles.
Correct, Crystal. Officials just wrapped up that press conference here at North Las Vegas City Hall. They did provide additional information about the victims involved. We know that 9 people total died in the crash, 2 people from the vehicle that triggered that accident, but 7 in another vehicle. They were all from one family. That's 3 children and 4 adults. Now, earlier at that crash site, we talked to friends of that family. They confirmed one of them, a Rancho High School student named Brian. Listen to what they shared about him.
Always had a smile on his face, always at school, didn't let nothing get to him.
Always trying to look for like our people. He was always trying to, look good and everything for us. And I mean, unfortunately, he passed away. We didn't want that to happen. No one wants that to happen, but I mean, here we are.
Now, city officials did say they've connected with the family to try to find ways to support them during this difficult time. And while many questions remain about the investigation, officials did not take any additional questions after the press conference. But of course, as we learn more, we will update you on air and online.
Well, GoFundMe is available for a family impacted by that crash. The fundraiser from Erlinda Zacharias is hoping the money will help pay for funeral expenses for a brother, husband, children, and stepchildren. We have a link on our website. You can find that at news3lv.com. Heart-wrenching details from that deadly crash that took 9 lives in North Las Vegas. Among those killed, a family of 7. The Clark County coroner has released the identities of at least 8 people who died in that crash. And let's start with the family. You have 4 children ranging in ages from 5 years old to 15 years old. Also in the vehicle, 4 adults. You see there, 3 adults, ranging in ages from 23 to 35 years old. Now, the coroner also released the name of the 59-year-old driver who ran the red light that ultimately led to the crash. We're still waiting for the coroner to identify the passenger of that vehicle.
It was beyond sad. Each of these people was a relative, a husband, a wife, a child, a neighbor, a member of our community, a very valuable member of our.
We're learning more about the tragic pileup accident that left 9 children and adults dead in North Las Vegas Saturday.
We do know that the Dodge Challenger was traveling northbound on Commerce at a high rate of speed. It was the only vehicle traveling northbound at this time. Witnesses on scene said that the Challenger did not stop at the red light.
North Las Vegas police say both passengers in the Dodge Challenger died. And in a second vehicle carrying a family, all 7 died. That's 4 children and 3 adults.
The Dodge Challenger was traveling northbound on Commerce at a high rate of speed. It was the only vehicle traveling northbound at this time. Witnesses on scene said that the Challenger did not stop at the red light.
Friends of that family visited the crash site today to pay their respects.
My heart dropped for sure. I couldn't breathe for a second. I think out of everyone, it had to be him,
Cyrus Baker confirmed one of the people from the family was his friend Brian, a Rancho High School student who loved spending time with his parents and siblings.
He was a big family guy. When he texts, sorry, my mom's coming in my room, stuff like that. So yeah, huge family guy.
Officials say they are supporting the family through this tragic time.
The Red Cross has been in contact with our agency because they want to reach out to those families, and we are currently diligently working on providing those families information to the Red Cross.
I have never met a man like Scott Amerson. He's a husband, a dad, and a veteran. Immediately after crashing his car, he had no movement in either of his legs, but he refused to let that stop him from surviving.
I was driving home northbound on the 95, and I noticed that I felt really flush. Like I felt like I was about to pass out.
When Amberson regained consciousness, his truck was a mangled mess. He was pinned against the driver's side door after crashing into a barrier.
And I looked down at my legs and I saw that I had some compound fractures on both legs. And I was bleeding pretty profusely. Some of my training in my past, my military training, told me that it's not a good idea to be bleeding that bad for that long.
Amberson had lost feeling in both his legs, and he thought he would die before being rescued. With his family on his mind, he used his arms to pull himself to the passenger door.
I kind of just scooted out, and I kind of like leaned into the door and hold on to the door, the little notch that is the handle, and I just kind of lowered myself down until I touched the concrete with like my thigh-ish, my hip, right? Because again, my legs were just kind of trailing, my feet were just kind of trailing along. Then I started doing some negative breathing techniques just to drop my heart rate.
A state trooper helped get Amberson to a hospital where doctors rushed to amputate his leg.
I'm glad that he's still alive and with us. Yeah.
She realized how much, she had to be a caretaker too, not just a mother, not just, a co-income earner, but she had to step up and she had to take care of me. And that has been hard for both of us. I'm a super independent individual.
Amberson teaches yoga at a veterans hospital. For years, he's created lesson plans to help many of those amputee patients.
Now, if this is the shape you make. It's just the amount of time that it takes. I have to completely heal my right leg before I can even start working on a prosthetic, and before I can get back to teaching yoga for the most part.
But through it all, he remains resilient, and he's optimistic about his second chance at life.
A silver lining for me is that I'm breathing. I'm just taking it day by day.
Yeah.
Like, what can I do today to make tomorrow better?
Amberson says doctors think low potassium levels are to blame for him fainting while behind the wheel. But as you can see, he's focused on moving forward with his wife and kids. It'll be a long recovery for the family, but if you'd like to support them, we've included a link on our website to their GoFundMe. It's news3lv.com. In the studio, Katie Munch, News 3.
Hi, everybody. I'm Reed Cowan from News 3 Las Vegas. We want to thank you for checking out our YouTube channel. Remember, you can always see more of our videos by clicking on the video links. And also don't forget to click that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on any of our YouTube updates.